Hi everybody, it's Adam, and I'm here to do a little painting video. As you can see, I've actually already done most of the painting with the watercolor and stuff. It's made with watercolor and also some liquid acrylics. But I skipped that part of the process since it's the one process that I think it's the least fun, and now it's only what I think is the most fun part left to do. So I was thinking that might also be the most fun part to watch me do. And I will apologize for, since I need to see what I'm actually doing, I can't have my face like right in the microphone at all times, so the volume of my voice might get a bit not like consistent. I'm sorry for that. I apologize. So the concept of this painting, it's inspired by a character from a video game called System Shock. The name of the character is Shodan. I have never played System Shock, and I probably never will. But I have it, and I have heard it being talked about, and I've seen pictures of Shodan, and I think the character seems quite fascinating. So I wanted to do sort of my own interpretation of her. It's or is it a they? Shodan is an artificial intelligence. So the concept is what I was thinking, the son of Shodan, if Shodan had a child. So the face is based off of my own. This is how it look like without these sort of tubes and like the circuit board kind of patterns. I don't have any tattoos in my face, but I have been thinking that I kind of would like to have one, but then it would only be like something small, like around this part. So anyways, I'm gonna start here by just marking the frame. It's really warm, and I don't feel like I can open a window since there's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot of outside noise. You might be able to hear like birds and perhaps some cars, but since I'm not like having my face in the microphone, I raised the volume of it. So there might be quite a lot of like white noise still, but I wanna like reduce the amount of outside noise as much as I can. So that's why I'll have to endure the heat. So what I like to do first is just like mark all the outermost parts of whatever I'm painting. Not for any particular reason other than it's like to know where to start. And I'm actually very happy with how this have turned out so far. I feel I'm getting much better at drawing faces, so they actually look like whatever reference photo I'm using. And it's a nice feeling, like seeing and feeling your improvements as an artist, or whatever you're doing, whatever you're practicing. And perhaps you have been following my Instagram pages. There you can see all of the art that I'm doing. And perhaps you can see as well, like how I'm improving. And I also feel that I'm much better at painting things that are sort of close up of a face rather than full bodies. It's easier to get the details right, I think. So when I do a full body, I try to keep the style of these consistent, but it's hard when you can't really use the same amount of work in the details, so they look sort of separate from each other. I suppose it's just something I should practice on to hopefully reach some level of skill, raise my confidence in doing them. But now when I can see that, and that I can feel that the portraits are actually good, then I just want to keep doing portraits. It's fun to do what you're good at, I think. It's fun to have the nice results. Although we also have to remember that failure, in quotes, is also a result. What I consider a failure might be something that someone else actually think it's the best one I've done. And it's funny how you as an artist, or at least it's like that for me, my favorite pieces, the favorite ones that I do, that I think are the best ones. Most people don't think they most often have some other piece that they actually think is the best. and that's okay too. I mean, everyone has their own opinions, but sometimes I suppose, we just like to have the confirmation that, like, yeah, you did a really good job on this one when you feel it. So I have quite many of these in this style. I call them the machine people. I'm gonna post a link in the description, like where you can, if you wanna have a look on my Instagram and see all the other ones that I made. And hopefully you'll like them. So the idea with these machine people, they're sort of like a series. I've been thinking quite a lot about like post-humanism and stuff like that. I'm sorry. And like, what will humanity be in 50 years? What will humanity be in 100 years? And what will it be in 1,000 years? And so on. So that is like what these paintings are about. Like post-humanism. Like some sort of cyberpunk world, I guess. But like even beyond that. Since cyberpunk is a lot about like how much can you augment your body until you're not human anymore. And the concept with these paintings is sort of like we're way past that. Now the machine and the flesh are the same. You don't have to think about those questions anymore. And like, maybe we don't even exist in a physical world anymore. I like to think that, and it's not a thing that I particularly like looking forward to or anything. It's just like an interpretation of a far future of humanity. But in this future, perhaps we will, I mean, the physical existence is mostly like computer hardware, where our minds or whatever, the consciousness, is stored, and like the living, the existence of mankind actually takes place like inside the virtual reality. And that these like computer hardware will be like located in the far outer edges of the universe, like where it is the coldest in space. Like since computers, there's a lot of like thermal, I mean they radiate heat, so they need to be cooled off by like just cold space, That's how I imagine it. And but like in these simulated realities, really anything could happen. I mean, anything would be possible. You could live in whatever world you wanted. But this particular world that I've sort of built up is, I don't know. If you have seen my other paintings, you might have seen that I'm very inspired by H.R. Giger. I really, really like that. The biological, like mechanical aesthetic of his works. And I've copied a lot of like the looks from his alien creature. Have you seen like many of like the heads? You have seen this like dome shaped elongated head that the alien creature has. I really, really like that, and I've incorporated it into this world, like with as I feel like I should start with the history of it. So when humans are born, or rather we take it even way before that, like humanity have stopped evolving. Evolution isn't a thing anymore. We have taken control of that. So we have been genetically engineered ourselves already from before birth even, so that humans are born with these dome-shaped heads, like even larger brains than we already have. And these larger brains allows us to connect with more hardware, and more like we can download more software, and what I'm ultimately like getting at is that we can control multiple consciousnesses. Conscious, I don't know what the plural is for that. It's very hard to pronounce. So so when we're born, when a baby is born, it's born like the body isn't, since so much energy goes to developing this huge brain that they're born with, like the rest of the body is underdeveloped. However, that body isn't what that individual is going to use anyways. So they're engineered so that you can safely remove the head and the brain from the body without causing any damage, and immediately like put it in sort of an incubator tank, I imagine, or perhaps even like put it on a fully grown body, like right away. And that can be sort of the hub, perhaps, for that brain, for that like unit. But I think I like the idea of having like like you can switch bodies, or this like giant brain can be hooked up to hardware that links it to to machine bodies that are ready to like be driven, basically. And since these brains are so complex and so advanced, they can control multiple bodies at the same time and have multiple consciousnesses in each of them. So you can essentially like drive it sounds like they're vehicles, but basically they are vehicles for consciousness. Isn't that what kind of the body is? They can control like a group of people, a group of units, we'll call them. And I have to shift my body. I am sitting on my knees and my feet are, I can't feel them. That's better. But now I don't see as well as I did. I mean, I was sitting higher up, and now the microphone is in the way again. Perhaps I should have been using like a what are these called in English? In Swedish there are linjal. Like I don't know. We'll call them line maker, making lines. The line tool, the measuring tool. So the idea, what I wanted to do with all these paintings is to make like a collection, like an art book. I wanted to do something similar to one of my favorite artists, Simon Stålenhag, does with his like Tales from a Loop and Things from the Flood, where he has created this world and having like boxes of text next to them that explains what's going on in these pictures and like the stories behind them and like that. If you've seen my other paintings, I keep referring back to them all the time. But then you can, and if you know me, you might have seen my tattoos I have on my hand, this, and they go up my arm. I really like to put myself in the paintings, not like what's going on in the paintings are like some sort of fantasies or anything. It's just like I like to make them more personal. So a lot of the faces, like especially if I'm doing male figures, then they're most likely based on my own appearance. But my tattoos I put on even like the females too. Sometimes I put my own face on a female body, and it makes for interesting aesthetics, I think. So I'm using this piece of paper to shield like the paper I'm drawing from it, so you have all these oils on your hand that could potentially get onto the paper if you don't protect it, and it can mess it up. Like if I paint like here and I have my hand on paper, and like it can even like smear out the paint if it hasn't dried up, and we don't want that. It has happened like here, so that's a mistake. And I have some other, like the paint here, it's an accident from like the previous painting I did, when some of the watercolor got onto this piece of paper as well. But I'm gonna paint like a frame, and I'm gonna paint over it with black so you can't see it. Sometimes I think about, when I see this part here, there's a certain distance between this tube and this, whatever it is, the line here, the green line. Then on the other side, it's asymmetrical. They're like right next to each other, and it bothers me when those things happen. But then I have to like remind myself that my face isn't really that symmetrical anyways, so it will have to be like this. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think I have accidentally already smeared some. Okay, it was just dust. But these mistakes, I also have to remember that people aren't gonna look at the painting and like, that is not symmetrical. We have to do it all over again. You might do now when I pointed it out. Whoops. And all these whoops. When you see the painting, you don't think about the whoopses. It's only when I point them out. So I'm doing myself a disservice by actually showing you and talking about it, what's happening. And you can see what a fraud I am. I was sort of hoping that you would be able to hear like the strokes with the pen that I make, but so it could be like a bit more ASMR-y. But I suppose this, if you want that experience, then I think my voice will have to do. But it's a pleasant voice, I heard. I don't hear it much, although I do talk to myself a lot, but we don't experience our voices the same as other people do. So I only get to hear it in recordings, but it's not, I mean, maybe I should, like, if I have a question that I want to ask myself, maybe I should like record it and then listen to it and then come up with an answer and then record the answer and then listen to it. I mean, it's going to be a very long conversation, but maybe just a thought experiment. Maybe you like can look at the conversation in a different light, or hear it rather. So what to do now? Oops, I have a glass of water over here. I don't want it to. Sorry, I think I hit the microphone with my headphones. I hope it didn't make too loud of a sound. sketching out the gonna use another pen, and I'm using these markers in different, like the black markers with that are with different like thickness in the tip. And also I have one of these markers. I call them cancer markers, since if you use it for long enough, you can sort of smell the fumes, and it feels almost like you're getting a migraine. I love to suffer for my art. And I have been thinking about, like, with Simon Stålenhagen, his Tales from the Loop, and his other books, they actually made a role-playing game based on it. So of course I have been thinking about that too. I have not figured out any, like, how I would do it yet. Like, perhaps it would be interesting, like, okay, you're in this simulated world and you can do anything. Or maybe, oh, this is even, like, this is meta. The role-playing game is like for the game master, which is when me and my friends, we play role-playing games. I am the game master, since I need to be the center of attention. Otherwise I die. But so the game is the game master's simulation, and the players they think they are their own, like, characters, but in reality their only purpose is to exist in the world that is created by the game master. I'll have to think about that idea some more. But what I've been thinking about, like, you know, when some of the creatures in my, like, some of the other machines in my, you know, paintings, like, why do they look like exactly like Giger's alien creature? And I was thinking about that, like, yeah, but the designer of this, like, conscious development of how to improve the human body have of course taken inspirations from other smart ideas, like designs, and so that person might have seen the alien creature and, like, come up with the idea, like, yeah, we can use this design to make ourselves better. And I'm thinking, like, in this world that is like developed and run by these people, the machine people, they're actually, like, behind it all is like a central artificial intelligence whose purpose is to, like, come up with these improvements and executing them. So all the designs are like perfect. Like there are no human mistakes that are made, like in the calculations and all that. So these shapes that and these functions that the bodies have and like how they look, they're all like purposely designed to be perfect. What that means is that I, as a human, have no right to design them, since there's going to be a lot of human mistakes. I mean, I will have to think like a perfect designer AI if I'm going to be able to design a perfect machine body. That's not going to happen. In reality, I just paint things that I think look cool. I'm gonna put my chair a little closer. But maybe that's what like an artificial intelligence could possibly do too. Like they just think it looks cool, so that's what we're gonna do. I like the idea of the artificial intelligences that have like personalities. And this Shodan that I talked about earlier, that is one of those that I like. She's very like malicious intended, but she has this like taunting personality to her that I think is really fun in a robot. For how long has this been going? About 40 minutes already. I don't think I want to make a video that is too long. I overestimated myself a bit. I like when I imagine myself doing these paintings. Or do I imagine them like taking about 2 hours for each like different sort of section, like 2 hours to sketch it all up, and then 2 hours to paint it, and then 2 hours to do all the lines. But I'm not quite sure. Maybe I should time myself. They're all different, obviously. But I think it's depending on the level of detail in it, then the painting section can take the longest. But mostly it is the drawing, the sketching portion that does, since that is when like I'm trying out a lot of different things with the concept, and many times my idea of the concept isn't even realized, so the painting will turn out to be like completely something else than I had in mind. But that's alright too, as long as it looks cool, and that, I mean, it doesn't even have to be consistent with the world that I'm creating. I like most of the time I figure it out like after I'm done, like how does this thing fit in, and that's all right. It's like that, like when I'm writing songs and stuff too. Like when I write down the lyrics, then it's mostly like nonsense until I've been singing it for a couple of times. Then I figured out, okay, this song is about this. In this world that I'm creating, there is no like malicious intent with the machines, since like in this world I imagine it being like compared to today, when like more and more people have smartphones, and smartphones was science fiction 20 years ago, or even like not 10 years ago, but 15 years ago. It was like what, a machine that has a camera, a calculator, a phone, a guitar tuner, this and that, all these games, all everything in one piece of equipment. And there are people there like, I don't want a smartphone, I don't want some people think that the government is spying on us through our smartphones, but there are people that don't like the idea of having smartphones. Yet still there are more and more people that have smartphones, and I imagine it's gonna be quite like in the future more and more people will augment mechanically, and there will for sure be people that are like, no, I don't want that. But they and maybe they never will, maybe they will never augment, and that's cool if they don't. But eventually, like, pretty much everyone will be augmented, and that will only like go further and further, and eventually like everyone will have these machine bodies. So there are no machine wars. Like, I imagine every consciousness, even though you have your own consciousnesses, since you can control multiple, since you have bigger, better brains, I imagine there should be some way that all the consciousnesses of every individual are also connected somehow. Like in a nice way. I don't know. There is some sort of world peace, at least. And since all the humans or post-humans are living in these simulated worlds that they create for themselves, and that the worlds are like, they are their own happy places, then everyone have what they need and want, and so there won't have to be any conflicts or anything. I like the idea of like being able to still visit each other's worlds. So we have some form of like we have friendships still, or some of the machine people maybe have all their friendships like in the simulated realities, like have created their own friends. I hope these thoughts aren't like too depressing to listen to. I don't want them to be depressing. It's just an idea that I am neither for or against. I will add. It's just how the world of this machine person is working. I'm getting some messages. I'm using my phone as a camera, and I'm getting a bunch of messages making my phone vibrate, and I think you might notice it in the video. I apologize for that. I forgot to turn it off, like turn it on airplane mode. I would do that for next time. I think we go for an hour. Then we can end the video and go for a part 2 some other time. Or maybe I should just keep going. We have the weekly role-playing session later, but that's not until like 2.5 hours from now. I still have to do some preparations first. If you're wondering, we are playing Mutant Year Zero, set in the post-apocalyptic future of Scandinavia. And today I have, well, we're only like a third of the group, or like we're gonna be we're gonna be 2 out of 5 players plus the game master, which is me, so less than half of the full group. So there's gonna be some new characters and a new adventure that I'm planning. And today, and they will not hear about this since this is going to be released after the fact. Today is not about winning. Today is going to be about survival. So I have the idea of letting them make these new characters, creating their in non-player characters, and then I'm planning to take that all away, like in the first minute. I'm gonna open with, you are running away from your burning settlement. All your friends, all your enemies, every person that you know is dead. You have been running for days, and you have no food. You are starving. What do you do? That's how we're gonna start today. And I'm doing this so we, as a group, even if we're not the entire group, and for me, of course, as well, to learn how to think in a survival situation. Also hope that the dice are on our sides, or on my players' sides, really. I'm the game master, so my goal is to kill them. Or rather, make them think that I'm trying to kill them. Get them on edge. But the ultimate goal is just to have fun, and we have been having so much fun with that. This part, though, I am not quite sure of. This that I just did. But not everything that I paint is meant to be beautiful in the end. Can be look a bit weird, can look scary. It's okay. These machine people look however they want. And sometimes they want to look scary. Have we done like half? Yeah, I'm gonna do this here. The mouth. Mouths are really hard, I think. I mean, to paint. Mouths are actually quite soft. I don't think I've ever met a person with a hard mouth. So I don't want to mess up the mouth. Oh, I think I just did. But you can't see it. And you do this like lip. I don't know what they're called. The ridges? No, like the folds? No, I don't know. If you're drawing lips, then there are at least like... What are those called? Have we gone for 54 minutes? Just about. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. Amazing, isn't it? I wish this was my job. You know, like it. Although I'm sure that if it was, I would be so stressed out. Like, I need to finish this. But I don't have time. Because I paint every section. Takes 2 hours each. But that is like my main thing about that I don't like about having, like, working in, like with me, I want to be like a professional artist somehow. I want to like make concept designs for games or movies or whatever, album covers. That's what I want to do, but I don't at the moment. So I have this like part-time job that I'm doing, which is all right. I mean, when I'm there, it's good. But the thing is, like, the days can takes so long to pass, you know. Even though you're having an okay time at work, or me, I want to go home. I want to go home and potentially like create something. But many times I feel that, oh, my day is already over. I mean, I need to, now when I'm home from work, I have to rest for these hours that I have at home until tomorrow when I'm working again. It is actually, if you heard like my if you listen to my depression video that I did, that I made, in that video, I spoke about a lot of things, but it were also like a lot of things that I missed, that I didn't talk about, that I came up with like after. I should have said this. And this is one of those things that are like a very like existential depression. Like, I don't want this life where, even though I enjoy the company at work and like my colleagues and all that, but in the end it isn't for me to work like that, to have a job like that. I want to work from home like this. I want to have an office at home, like where I can do these kinds of things. I love making videos, and I love making content. Oh, I made a sad eye. I think I will do the eyes now, and I have to focus a bit. So I will be down here. Turned out pretty good, I think. What is this? 0.3. That's good. I wish I could, because I took a photo of my, I have my reference. I took a photo of the final sketch that I did, like before I started coloring the thing. So I have it on my phone, which is the camera. I wish I could look at it, and I can't. This is a really sad eye. I can't see it very well on the video, but there's quite the difference. I mean, much more if you see it in reality than on the video. So I was thinking that since this part of the process is my favorite, that it would be the most fun to look at too. But now when I see, because I have my PC like next to me, and when I look at the video like now, there is actually not much that's different from when I started. So I don't know if you've actually seen much of like what's been going on. But we'll see how I will have a look at the entire thing. This is purely experimental. Remember that. And see like how I can improve it, the video making process that is. Yeah, I think this was a good sitting, I think. So yeah, upload this, then like keep going, make another one so we can finish this, and yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching me paint this absolutely dazzling face. Son of Shodan, the mother of the machine. Thank you, and have a good night or a good day. I'll see you next time.